Hello and welcome back to Stars and Stripes 11s. Today we'll do the first USMNT based video on this channel, which will be my preferred 23-man squad for the United States if all players were hypothetically fit. World Cup qualifying is around the corner, so I do plan on making a prediction video on the 30-man roster that Greg Berhalter will come out with, but that is for later this month, probably. And again, the premise of this video is pretty simple, just America's 23 best players when they're all fit at this very moment. So let's get cracking into the video. Oh, and why not leave a like and subscribe while you're at it if you want to see more CONCACAF or USMNT related content. Jackson Ewell will be looking for you if you don't, and believe me, you don't want him hanging around. Just ask Berhalter, he is a bad omen. Okay, let me start from the back and work my way up. Then I'll get into the 7 substitutes and the 5 reserves. In goal, we got Zach Steffen. As per the general popular opinion, I believe Zach is the best goalkeeper that we have right now. Obviously, this is a dull age for goalkeepers in the United States, considering the Brad Friedels and the Tim Howards of the past, but Steffen will do just fine for us for now. He won the Premier League with Man City last year, though more importantly, he won the Carabao Cup with them as well, starting in all 5 matches and conceding just 2 goals, keeping a clean sheet in the final. However, he did just lose the Community Shield to Leicester, but the only goal he conceded was from the penalty spot. At least we know that he's getting good game time. You could certainly make a good argument for the other 2 keepers that I'll mention later, but for right now, Steffen is the clear favorite. Let's go with our 2 fullbacks now, and I have Serginho Dest at right back and Anthony Robinson at left back. I know Berhalter likes to play Serginho out on the left sometimes, and usually puts someone else like Reggie Cannon or DeAndre Yedlin at right back, but I have not seen anything good come out of it for Dest himself. He looks mediocre on the left and much more comfortable and just better overall on the right. So he's my right back. Now Robinson, he's a guy who didn't even appear off the bench during the Nations League final, so I don't know how he personally feels about him, but I think that he's our best left back right now by far, not with much competition from Sam Vines and George Bello, and I'd like to get the best out of each player here in their proper position, so this will be my fullback pairing. Now let's get to our 2 center backs who both hail from the Bundesliga, and that's John Brooks and Chris Richards. Brooks is one of, if not my favorite player on the national team right now. He is an absolute wall and looks really solid whenever I see him play. He has lost a yard of pace since his injuries, but he is by far our best center half that we have right now, and really our only true veteran in this starting 11, and I'd even argue giving him the captain's armband. Chris Richards lines up alongside him, the young Bayern Munich center back, who's getting offers from Leicester City now that Wesley Fofana is injured. He got loaned out to Hoffenheim during the second half of last year and got off to a bit of a shaky start, but his form quickly picked up and he began to adapt to the Bundesliga. So I hope he'll get a chance to play somewhere this year because he really deserves to break in, even in the Bayern team. He just proved his worth well last year. So yeah, John Brooks and Chris Richards, my 2 center backs. On to the midfield now, and I suppose we'll do a 4-3-3 formation with 1 holding midfielder here because my next pick is Tyler Adams, another Bundesliga player. He is a lad who isn't necessarily great on the ball, but his mind and his willingness to go on, I guess his engine, so to say, they're just something else, man. He's a really smart, decisive player with little competition at his spot, so let's just move on from him. We have 2 central midfielders who will line up alongside him, and that's Weston McKennie and Yunus Musa. McKennie is similar to Adams in that they are both irreplaceable in the USMNT right now, and also because of his work ethic and his mindset. If you ever need a true definition of a box-to-box midfielder, just watch a McKennie highlight reel. He also has very good aerial ability, has a decent amount of pace for his position as well, and that really puts him in an extremely arguable candidate for the best American footballer right now. I personally don't think so, but he's up there. He's just really that good. Yunus Musa, he's currently injured, so most likely he will miss the first round of fixtures for World Cup qualifying, but I think he's one of our best players right now. If he's fit, that would be so much better, but he's not. He can play as a right-sided attacker or central midfielder, or even sometimes as a number 10, but from what I've seen, he'd be played best in the center of the park for the United States, even though he plays on the right wing for Valencia. But he's only 18, he has bags of potential, and I am really, really excited to see what he can be capable of over the next few years. Let's get over to the right wing now, and it's possibly our player with the brightest future in the entire nation, and that's Gio Reyna. Another 18-year-old who can probably be interchangeable with Yunus Musa at the respective positions that I gave them. He's accumulated stats that can be compared to Messi and Ronaldo in their first few seasons as teenagers. The sky's the limit for this kid, and he really has the potential to be the best USMNT player of all time, even better than Christian Pulisic, who just so happens to be on this team on the left wing. Wow, who would have thought? Yeah, I'm not going to dive into this one. The best player we've ever had, class in the Premier League, yada yada yada. Let's move on to something more debatable here, which is the number 9 spot. Very, very spicy. By my count, there's about 7 or 8 or even 9 guys off the top of my head that are competitors for the starting striker spot for the national team. But for me, right now, it can only be one man. The Missouri Mbappe, Josh Sargent. He is a quality striker. I watched him a bit for Bremen last year. Unfortunately, got relegated, but he was good. For the national team, he's a little inconsistent, but I still think he's the best we got. He just joined Norwich in the Premier League, so I'm really excited to see how he does there. Right, so that's the starting 11. Let's get to the 7 bench players now. Our backup goalkeeper is going to be Ethan Horvath. This is a man who, even with limited caps, has already etched his legacy into the hearts of Americans everywhere. His heroics when he came on against Mexico in the Nations League were otherworldly, and his penalty save had me screaming out of pure joy and relief. Legend. Also, a very deserved move to a decent championship club in Nottingham Forest, so just get in this team, man. Our 2 backup defenders are really up for debate, but ultimately I've gone for Reggie Cannon and Aaron Long. Cannon is currently our second best right back in an era where we have an abundance of right backs, kind of like England, and I think he could fit in the system well here, where he could come on for either Dest, where he slots in normally, or for Robinson, whereas he moves Dest to the left-hand side. Aaron Long, he's currently injured, but he was absolute quality for the Red Bulls before his injury, being one of, if not the best defenders in the MLS. He even got linked with Liverpool when they were really down bad for center backs. Who knows, maybe he would have done better than Ozan Kabak. Our next 4 inclusions are all attack-minded players in one way or another, so I'll start with the one who doesn't usually play as a forward but can slot in on the wings if needed, and that's Brendan Aronson. He moved to RB Salzburg in Austria from the Philly Union not too long ago, and from what I've seen, he's really impressed there, even scoring in a preseason win against Barcelona a week ago. I definitely rely on Aronson to be an impact sub in this team, and I feel like he could get that job done. Very versatile, very good player. Next, I've got 2 players who are a bit similar in one way or another. It's Tim Weah and Jordan Morris. They can both play through the middle or on the wings. They both have loads of pace and ability, and they're both kind of injury prone. Weah has already established himself as a reliable option off the bench or even as a starter for Lille, while I was real disappointed about not being able to see Morris at full ability for a good championship side like Swansea, and I hope he gets better soon. Our last inclusion here is Matthew Hoppe. Just like Weah and Morris, he can also be versatile up top. He really impressed me during the Gold Cup, not just ability-wise, for his fighting spirit and absolute Chad attitude against whoever he faced. The lad's an amazing character, and if he doesn't get a move away, he'll be banging in goals this year for Schalke. Time for the 5 reserves, and let's just go with the third man between the sticks first. And for me, that's Matt Turner. He was amazing during the Gold Cup. Without a doubt, I could see him being our backup or even our starter in real life. He's a great shot stopper. Nothing else needs to be said about him. He's amazing. Next up, there's 2 guys that are undergoing redemption arcs right now. The first one is DeAndre Yedlin. His move to Newcastle didn't go all that well, but he's been in Turkey in Galatasaray for the past few months, and Berhalter included him in the Nations League squad where he played absolutely brilliantly in the final. I mean, it wasn't great, but he's really getting his form back up there. So I'm liking where he's going. But the next guy is Kellen Acosta, who has a bit of a different story. He almost got his big move to Europe, and then injuries just hit him, and he's picked up his form afterwards, and he was recalled to the USMNT, where, let's be honest, none of us wanted him there. He wasn't good, but we all owe him a fat apology now, because his form in the knockout stages of the Gold Cup was impeccable, including that beautiful ball that he played into the penultimate man in the squad, who was Miles Robinson. Nice transition there, right? Yeah, he scored that goal in the Gold Cup final. I had to think about whether it was him or Mark McKenzie that I wanted in this team, but in the end, I just could not escape Miles Robinson's heroics in the Gold Cup. And just as long as it's not Tim Ream, we all good. And finally, my last pick is a tall striker who's known for scoring in Europe. You know him, you love him. It's Jordan Siebatschau. Yeah, I'm not going to include DK. Sure, he did well for Barnsley, but for the United States, he's not going to get those crosses. He's not going to latch onto those crosses. He's not going to be the bully in the box. It's a completely different play style that he has already shown that he just can't really adapt well to. If you're being benched for Gyasi Zardes in a major final, you know there's a problem. But Siebatschau, on the other hand, he's well-rounded, he's adaptable, and he's off to a pretty good start in Switzerland this year. And he scored a nice little header against Honduras in the Nations League recently, so I'd give him a go on this team.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my ideal, fully fit 23-man squad for the United States. Let me know what you would change in the comments below, and again, like the video, subscribe, and show your friends. I'm also thinking of starting up an Instagram soon that'll go along with this channel, so please be on the lookout for that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all as soon as possible.